renewing energy, digital technologies, robotic, artificial intelligence, industrial automation, and other emerging sectors of the evolving energy landscape. Delta State remains committed to partnering with organizations such as Ogtan and other stakeholders to strengthen local content development, enhance workforce capacity, promote innovation, and create meaningful development opportunities for our people. Through strategic collaboration, we can ensure that our youth are not merely job seekers, but job creators, innovators, and globally competitive professionals. As you deliberate over these new days, I encourage you to produce practical, forward-looking recommendations that will strengthen Nigeria's human capital base and accelerate sustainable growth in the energy sector. The future competitiveness of our industry will depend largely on the quality of investment we made today in developing our people. Once again, I congratulate the Oil and Gas Trainers Association of Nigeria for organizing this important conference, and thank you for the honor extended to Delta State. I wish you fruitful deliberation and a successful conference. But I will say this, let me say this. We should have gone on an extensive advertisement so that we can bring more people into this. We are talking of local content creation. So if people are not here to hear us, it becomes meaningless what we are doing. You have done well. We appreciate the extent you have done. I was with you people yesterday. We danced to the music. We enjoyed everything together. If I were you, I'm not here alone. I'm the governor. It was the governor that was with you yesterday, and it's the governor that has come today. The governor has you people at heart because he's interested in this program. Local content. We have local content agency in Delta State that will expedite action in issue that has to do with local content. I would recommend that you get in touch with him while this program is ongoing. Thank you.
Let's put our hands together for His Excellency, the Governor of Delta State, ably represented by Honorable Commissioner for Oil and Gas. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Delta State, ably represented by the Honorable Commissioner for Oil and Gas. All other protocols duly observed. Please permit me, before we proceed any further, we would like to crave indulgence to take a group photograph with His Excellency. And I assure you that God being our helper with the speech he has delivered, next year we'll be thinking of having ×2 of this hall because the crowd that will come will be more than this. And so, Your Excellency, please, would like to have a group photograph with you, the chairman, the president, and the escorts. Please join him for a group photograph very quickly. Ogtan Esco, please join. Representative of the Honorable Minister, please join them too. We'd like to welcome the BOT Chairman, Ogtan, Mazi Sam Azoka Onyechi. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, once again, we say welcome. Securing the future workforce, the PTDF human capital model, a co-investment approach from scholarships and centers of excellence to measurable local capacity. Please welcome the Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer of the Petroleum Technology Development Fund, Professor Shuaibu Shehu Aliu, ably represented here by Engineer Olayinka Abola, GM Project Department. May I also inform our audience that there's going to be a technical paper, and after this, the technical paper will be presented. Thank you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I also stand on already established protocols. I bring you warm greetings from the Executive Secretary of the PTDF, Professor Shuaibu Shehu Aliu, who also sends his apologies. He will have wanted to be here personally. PTDF has been well associated with the activities of Ogtan since inception, and we have also always supported the activities of Ogtan. So the ES will have wanted to be here personally, but for some other urgent assignments. However, I would read the keynote address which he has prepared on his behalf. Distinguished guests, captains of industry, leaders of the academia, development partners, members of the petroleum and energy community, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor to address you today on an issue central to Nigeria's energy future, on how to build the human capacity required to sustain and transform our petroleum industry. Evidently, Nigeria is blessed with significant oil and gas resources, a growing domestic energy market, an expanding industrial base, and a strategic position within West Africa and the Gulf of Guinea. However, natural resources alone do not create competitive industries. People, skills, technology, and strong institutions do. The true measure of an oil-producing nation is therefore not only how many barrels it produces, but how much knowledge, expertise, technology, enterprise, and human capacity it develops around those resources. This is where the PTDF has a historic responsibility. Importantly, at PTDF, our mandate goes beyond training people. It is about building national capability. We are committed to developing indigenous human and technical capacity, strengthening training institutions and infrastructure, supporting industry-relevant research, and facilitating technology acquisition and transfer. In essence, we are not simply training Nigerians for jobs. We are building Nigerians who can build the oil and gas industry. Therefore, we must move further from where we are presently, and there must be new imperatives. A new compact for capacity development. The question before us now is that, what does the industry need from PTDF? And what does PTDF need from the industry? My answer is simple. We need a new compact, a co-investment model for Nigeria's petroleum workforce. Government should not carry the entire burden of skills development. Industry should not simply recruit from a pool created by government, while universities and training institutions operate in isolation from market needs. We must move from a system where government does most of the investment to one where government, industry, academia, technology partners, and development institutions invest together in national capability. From scholarships to capabilities. Scholarships will remain an important part of our human capital strategy. A scholarship can transform an individual's life and produce an engineer, geoscientist, researcher, project manager, or energy economist. But our measure of success must go beyond the number of scholarships awarded. To properly address the present situation, we must ask ourselves, how many specialists did we produce? How many returned to Nigeria? How many entered the industry? What technologies were transferred? What industrial problems were solved? How many Nigerian technicians and craftsmen can operate and maintain sophisticated facilities? How many Nigerian companies can now undertake work previously dependent on foreign expertise? The next phase of capacity development must therefore focus on capabilities created, not simply scholarships delivered. The PTDF co-investment model. Our approach rests on 5 interconnected pillars: scholarships, skills, infrastructure, research, and technology and industry outcomes. These should not operate as separate programs. They must function as one national workforce development system. Hence, our scholarships must be aligned with current and future industry needs. Industry has a critical role to play by telling us where the skills shortages are today and where they are likely to emerge over the next 5, 10, and 15 years. Industry must become a stronger financial and technical partner. Imagine a model where PTDF provides catalytic funding, while participating companies contribute finance, equipment, instructors, software, data, internships, industry placements, and access to operational facilities. The objective is not simply to spend more money, It is to leverage every naira invested by government into a larger pool of national capability. If PTDF invests 1 naira, the question should increasingly be, how much additional value can we mobilize from industry and strategic partners? That is the essence of co-investment. Centers of excellence must deliver results. Nigeria does not need centers of excellence that are excellent only in name. We need centers that deliver measurable competence and industrial results. PTDF currently supports the establishment of centers of excellence, including the General Shehu Musa Yaradua University of Geological Sciences and Engineering Technology, Kaduna, and the Center for Skills Development and Training in Port Harcourt, which were set up by PTDF. These centers demonstrate the potential of targeted investment in infrastructure, skills, and applied learning. Going forward, we are inviting the industry to partner with us for the use of these centers for their respective competency and skills acquisition programs. We must also close the gap between academic research and industrial application. Our universities have brilliant researchers and talented scientists and engineers, but too often, research ends only in academic publications rather than solutions deployed in the industry. PTDF is committed to supporting research with a destination, research that addresses real industry challenges and delivers practical and measurable outcomes. We therefore invite the industry researchers to identify critical problems and opportunities within the oil and gas sector and partner with PTDF to develop innovations, sustainable and commercially viable solutions that addresses problem areas within the oil and gas value chain. The success of such research endeavors should go beyond publications and progress into adoption, commercialization, local value creation, and measurable impact. From technology use to technology transfer, there's a fundamental difference between using technology and owning capability. Nigeria has used sophisticated petroleum technologies for decades. Our strategic objective must now be to ensure that our Nigerian professionals and researchers can increasingly understand, operate, maintain, adapt, and eventually improve those technologies. Technology partnerships should therefore include training, knowledge transfer, technical support, research collaboration, apprenticeships, certification, and opportunities for Nigerian companies. We do not seek to exclude international expertise. We want international expertise to become a bridge to Nigerian capability. Building the workforce of tomorrow. The petroleum workforce of the future will be multidisciplinary. We will need petroleum engineers and geoscientists. We will also need data scientists, software engineers, automation specialists, welders, fabricators, AI and robotic specialists, cybersecurity experts, and so on and so forth. We will also need entrepreneurs capable of turning technical knowledge into Nigerian businesses. Therefore, local content must mean more than the percentage of Nigerians employed on a project. It must increasingly reflect the percentage of knowledge, skills, technology, intellectual property, services, and value creation that resides sustainably in Nigeria. Nigeria as a regional human capital hub, our ambition should extend beyond our borders. With our population, institutions, industrial base, and strategic location, Nigeria has the potential to become West Africa's leading human capital and competence center for the petroleum and broader energy industry. We should train not only for our domestic needs, but have the mind to also to meet the growing technical requirements of the West African sub-region and the Gulf of Guinea. A call to action. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the petroleum industry is changing, technology is changing, the energy system is also changing. Therefore, our approach to human capacity development must also change. PTDF cannot do this alone. Industry cannot also do it alone. Universities cannot do it alone. Government cannot do it alone. But together, we can work to build an ecosystem in which a young Nigerian can receive scholarship, acquire world-class knowledge, gain practical experience, undertake industry-relevant research, assess a center of excellence, obtain international certification, join or establish a Nigerian company, and eventually mentor the next generation. And it is our duty to work together to make this to happen. This is the ecosystem we must build. Education becoming skills, skills becoming competence, competence becoming technology, technology becoming enterprise, and enterprise becoming national prosperity. In conclusion, the ultimate objective of local capacity development is not just to create permanent dependence on government programs. It is to create a Nigeria where our professionals, technicians, craftsmen, researchers, institutions, and companies can compete confidently on their own strength. Let us therefore move from funding training to co-investing in capability, from counting scholarships to measuring outcomes, from building facilities to building centers of excellence, from technology utilization to technology transfer and adaptation, and from local participation to genuine indigenous capability. PTDF is ready to lead this transformation, but we invite the industry, the academia and technology partners, and the development community to invest with us, partner with us, and build with us. Together we can make Nigeria not merely a producer of petroleum, but a producer of world-class petroleum expertise, technology, and enterprise. Together we can position Nigeria as the human capital and competence center of West Africa and the Gulf of Guinea. And together we can build an energy workforce that is skilled, competitive, innovative, employable, and proudly Nigerian. Thank you, and God bless you all. That's the speech of Professor Shuaib Shehu Aliu, the Executive Secretary of the PTDF. Thank you.
A round of applause for Professor Shuaib Shehu Aliu, Executive Secretary, Chief Executive Officer, PTDF. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, again, we'd like to welcome you to the day 3 of this epoch-making event taking place here at the PTI Conference Center here in Delta State. For the technical papers, please make welcome Engineer Paul Ohabuike, the General Manager, Nigerian Content and Industry Collaboration. Please a round of applause as it comes.
Thank you, everyone. Permit me to stand on existing protocol established by my colleague. I'm here to present the Executive Secretary's technical paper on building human capital for an increasingly dynamic energy industry, the PTDF perspective. I want to add that PTDF supports this program. The Executive Secretary has approved for support to this program, so we should be included as part of the sponsors of this program. The energy industry is undergoing a structural transformation driven by technological innovation, energy transition pressures, digitalization, changing investment patterns, evolving regulatory framework, and the growing importance of energy security. For Nigeria, these developments create both a challenge and an opportunity. Nigeria must continue to develop the technical capabilities required to optimize its oil and gas resources while simultaneously preparing its workforce for emerging opportunities in gas, renewable energy, power systems, energy efficiency, energy storage, energy mobility, electric mobility, carbon management, and other low-carbon technology. The PTDF occupies a strategic position in this. Its statutory mandate encompasses human capacity development, institutional capacity development, research, and the acquisition and transfer of relevant technology in Nigeria's oil and gas industry. PTDF's mission extends across graduates, professionals, technicians, and craftsmen in engineering, geology, science, and management. This paper posits that the next phase of PTDF's human capital strategy is moving beyond conventional paradigm of producing technically qualified petroleum professionals towards developing an adaptable, interdisciplinary, and technology-enabled energy workforce. Such a workforce must combine deep technical expertise with digital competence, innovation capability, commercial awareness, environmental stewardship, leadership, and lifelong learning. The paper proposes a competency-based framework built by anticipating future skills demand, strengthening industry-linked education and training, expanding technical and vocational pathways, integrating digital and emerging technologies, and establishing measurable mechanisms for employment, productivity, innovation, and technology transfer outcomes. Let's look at the energy skills landscape, from petroleum specialization to energy system competence. Historically, Nigerian energy sector skills requirements were heavily concentrated around exploration and production, drilling, reservoir engineering, production operations, refining, geosciences, and associated support services. These competencies remain important. Nigeria needs highly competent professionals to improve production efficiency, reduce operation costs, manage mature fields, develop deep water resources, expand gas utilization, improve refining capacity, and reduce methane emission and gas flaring. Future professionals will need to understand combinations of petroleum engineering and data science, geoscience and artificial intelligence, electrical engineering and renewable energy system, mechanical engineering and energy efficiency, process engineering and carbon management, petroleum economics and energy transition finance, cyber security and industrial control systems, environmental science and emission management, project management, and complex infrastructure delivery. The implication is clear. Specialization remains necessary, but specialization without adaptability is increasingly insufficient. Another aspect, and also mentioned by my colleague, is digitalization and the intelligent energy industry. Digital technologies are changing virtually every stage of the energy value chain. Sensors, cloud computing, artificial intelligence, machine learning, digital twins, robotics, advanced analytics, and automation are increasingly relevant to exploration, production, processing, and energy system management. A petroleum engineer, for example, should increasingly be capable of working with production data sets and digital models. A geoscientist should understand computational interpretation. A maintenance engineer should be familiar with predictive maintenance concepts. A process engineer should be able to interact with automated control systems and data-driven optimization tools. PTDF is playing a catalytic role by ensuring that sponsored academic and professional programs are not only academically rigorous, but also aligned with digital technologies being adopted in the industry. What is PTDF's strategic position in human capital development? The PTDF institutional mandate provides strong foundation for responding to these changes. This creates three strategic advantages: a national human capital platform, a bridge between knowledge and industry, and a platform for indigenous technology development. Human capital and technology development is inseparable. A country cannot sustainably acquire technology without developing the people capable of operating, modifying, improving, and virtually creating it. PTDF's mandate explicitly includes research and the acquisition of relevant technologies. Accordingly, PTDF is designing research funding to favor projects that move along innovation change. From research to prototype, to demonstration, to deployment, to commercialization, and to local manufacturing and service capability. We have a core human capital challenge. This was also mentioned in the keynote address by my colleague. The education industry gap. Universities can produce graduates with strong theoretical knowledge, while employers require practical competence, familiarity with industry standards, project experience, and the ability to work with contemporary technologies. The solution is not to weaken education, but to complement it with structured industry exposure. The PTDF, in response, has designed and is implementing project-based training, industry-based training, and post-training attachment initiatives to reduce this gap. The technician and artisan gap. A sophisticated energy industry depends on much more than university graduates. Welders, fabricators, electricians, instrumentation technicians, rotating equipment technicians, process operators, and other technical personnel are essential to safe and reliable operation. PTDF, in line with these needs, is implementing a technical and vocational training strategy centered around 8 key centers of excellence located in Kaduna and Port Harcourt. There are also emerging skill gaps. New energy technologies create requirements for skills that may not be adequately represented in conventional curricula. This includes solar voltaic system design and installation, battery energy storage system,